Two submarine chimps is an assignment in Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you have to complete an entire game of chimps using just two submarines. Now, this could be any two towers of your choosing for the 2TC achievement, but today we're doing this with the Pre-Emptive Strike and the Sub-Commander submarines. Now we're going to be placing one of our subs up here and then another one in the center of the eye. You're going to be our Sub-Commander and you're going to be our Pre-Emptive Strike. Now, take note throughout this entire run that we will be able to decimate every single DDT that spawns using the Pre-Emptive Strike's preemptive passive attack of being able to strike every Merle class balloon that spawns in the game, even the 99 ones, because by being near the Sub-Commander, the Pre-Emptive Strike's missiles are more powerful. They do more damage. By being in this circle, it can grant our submarines, our boats, our mermonkeys, our ice monkeys, or anything else that can be placed on water without requiring an ice platform, the means of having their costs reduced, their upgrade costs reduced. Even after tier 3, they are reduced in cost. But just keep track of how much money you have at all times, because when you get to that pesky round that ends with a 6, the eye closes and you need to open it again, but after round 6 it costs 500. And sometimes this eye just bugs out with either you not being able to click on it, even though you can like click on the 6 and it should come up with an icon that enables you to pay a certain amount of money. That is one aspect. You can't actually open the eye back up if you need to retry the round, like say that remove for 500 or whatever price it is. Sometimes the option just does not load up. Another option is that you have to repay to have the eye opened back up. This is from a perspective of, let's say you've already opened it back up, but unfortunately the game has decided that you need to cough up an extra 4,500 or so that it means, or needs, sorry, to be able to open it back up again. Not cool. And other scenarios, you open it back up and the towers you have inside the eye have been auto-deleted. If it was in chimps, they would be sold, but in this case, since it's chimps, they would just be deleted. They would be gone. Not a cool scenario, and I think at least twice or 3 times Ninja Kiwi has said that they have fixed the eye in Polyphemus. It still has not been fixed. There we go. 26. Remove for 1000. The idea is that we get ourselves a triple guns first, and then with our other submarine, we will obviously get these upgrades here, and then we're going to get the ballistic missile. Ballistic missile online. Ceramics will receive extra damage, even though when you get to Pre-Emptive Strike, that bonus damage does not feel that bonus because of the fact that there's just so many super fortified ceramics, which I keep mispronouncing as mortified recently. Not fortified, but mortified. Which I do apologize. I don't mean to mispronounce words, but sometimes it is just me and my ability or my inability to be able to pronounce / mispronounce words. Now, believe it or not, as long as you get both tier 5 towers, then the only really difficult round in this entire run is 98. Armor piercing darts, because we need that bonus damage against Moab class balloons. Ceramics, no way. Go away. We're actually going to get Sub-Commander before we get First Strike capabilities. Or sorry, capability, not plural. There's only one of these. Okay, 39 done and dusted. Moab class balloon, not a problem whatsoever. Though also the ballistic missiles say they do extra damage to Moabs, not just ceramics. So this is what the Moab Mauler used to be. Both Moabs and ceramics used to get bonus damage. Now it's just Moabs. You are what the Moab Mauler. Well, Moab Mauler used to be you, but now you're just you. Back in the day when Moab Mauler spam used to be a thing, or it probably still is a thing, but on easier maps in a CHIMPS scenario. 45 going down very well here. By placing these sort of towers in the eye is like having it inside a 222 village. But obviously the discounts is not just for tier 1, 2 and 3, but it's also the placement costs and tier 4 and tier 5, because you saw that on round 6, even though the submarine cost 350, we was able to place down 2 submarines at the very get-go. I'm just thankful at the very least Polyphemus is now more of an intermediate map rather than an advanced map, simply because of round 49. What are you doing? You should not be like this. Why are you, of all rounds, the one that is annoying me? You should not be doing this. You should be again with that. Hello, yellow balloon. Really annoying. I didn't have this while I was testing on just a test run, which is why you can see there's a cost up here. This should not be a round in which we should be struggling on, but we are. Like, I did not fail this round, sorry, when testing. Okay, this is really stupid. Okay, thankfully. I don't know what I did earlier there. I don't know what I did to make that round go by as it did. But that is some RNG involved. And you know, if you've been a long time viewer of my channel, you know how much I despise RNG. People say that there's no such thing as true RNG in this game. Well, that's BS. Like this, I didn't even do anything different that time. Like, that is RNG. When you don't do anything different, but yet one result is different from the second result. Because the game decided that. I should not be this emotional over a game involving a monkey throwing a dart at a balloon. 55, done and dusted. Don't you just love a mechanic that makes your towers unable to do anything, and that they have a cost factor here? I suppose you do get some discounts by being in here, but I suppose the better option would be to put down a tower in here that is innately more expensive so that you get more value out of the discounts. Because every single time you open up the eye, it costs 500 more. And at some point, you cannot keep the eye open because the cost requirements are too high. Anyways, we will soon have the first strike capability, and we will be capable of unleashing the first strike on the balloons. Okay, so round 60, just delete from existence like that. We don't need the ability for this round, or at very least I hope not. Adds extra pierce and damage to commander and all subs in its radius. And if you want to have more pierce and damage in your radius, then consider being a subscriber of the channel so that you can get future videos in which are uploaded on the channel. 63 should be very easy. Sub commander with another submarine nearby should make this possible, but 49 and 50, there was some RNG involved there, because when I tested out this combination, 98 was the only round that I had difficulty on. 49 and 50 just breezed through by. So I do not know how to explain why we failed when we did. Like, this is the only map in which this combination can do on, because the eye provides camo detection. And having camo detection is kind of important in a 2TC run. It enables you to see those pesky camo balloons. I'm surprised that there's no Brickle combinations on Polyphemus. Probably because Brickle can only become really powerful later on in the run. And by that point, well, you can't get to that point because you would suffer from one of the middle rounds, like 63 for example. I think if a carrier flagship had the normal damage type with its planes and its darts, I think it's just the missiles themselves that can damage DDTs, unless the plane's darts can damage DDTs, but as far as I know, its missiles are the only things that can damage DDTs, because the carrier flagship can no longer solo round 59. If Ninja Key were to ever actually fixed the eye problems on this map, then they should also put the MIB as a way of apologizing. I'm just kidding about that last part there, and the apology part. They don't need to apologize, but I think they should get around to fixing this map. But then again, there are other things which have been in the game since the game's debut, like regrow bug. 75. We will very soon be able to unleash the preemptive strikes on the balloons. Preemptively damage them when they enter the field. Our field of vision. Their demise. 75 done, and great. The eye has to close. The eye has to cost a lot more than it usually does, because that's a fun mechanic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the top half Super Monkey can only get the benefits of being in the eye once it's a sun temple inside the eye, by obviously having an ice tower nearby to create a land bridge so that you can place a Super Monkey within the eye, but originally it doesn't get the benefits of being in the eye. But once it becomes a sun temple, then it floats on the water, then gets the benefits of being in the eye. But obviously towers which are placed in the eye, while the Absolute Zero or even Silas or the Ice Paragon creates an ice bridge so that land towers can be placed on water, in that method they don't actually get the benefits. You have to actually be able to be placed in the water, with the exception of the top half Super Monkey once it becomes a temple, and then from there it's able to become a true sun god for a bit of a cheaper price. Pre-Emptive Strike doing work against these small class balloons. Now at some point the fortified Moabs will no longer go down from a single missile. Moabs will, fortified Moabs will, DDTs will, fortified DDTs, and BFBs. But fortified BFBs? Not so much after this point. So 85, what do we do here? We instantly nuke one of the ZMGs, and then this one here we just naturally pop. 85, take you down naturally, and we need to open the eye back up. Lovely of you to once again give me unnecessary costs. Also, because I can, I will open up these barricades. But for any pop silent 2TCs on this map, keep the barriers in place. They are essential to taking down round 100. Take out one of the ZMGs with the ability, and the other ZMG nearby will be damaged from the ability, but obviously it doesn't suffer from the same amount of damage because it wasn't the primary target of the missile. Another one bites the dust. 89. Fortified Mo's going down. Fortified BFBs, nope. They are critically damaged, but not destroyed. I can just breathe on them, and they will go down to fortified Moabs. Just do better, okay? Okay, round 90, not a problem. In fact, the insides of the DDTs are more a threat than the actual DDTs themselves because of a preemptive strike. Do we have enough PS to go through this round, sorry? Yeah, look like it. They're all facing towards the 6 on the eye here. ZMGs, not a problem. Take out one of them, and the other one's also damaged. That one's damaged a bit more than these two. One, go down, please. Go down, please. 3 ZMGs to take out. Not a problem for these 2 submarines. Take out the DDTs. Lovely. Yeah, the ceramics inside are more of a threat than the DDTs, simply because of the tower in its nature. Okay, Sub-Commander only has nearly half the pops that the Pre-Emptive Strike has. Well, that's to be expected because of the innate means of the Pre-Emptive Strike itself. 94. Do we have the damage and the pierce to be able to go through this round? That, I hope, is a positive reading of you will be decimated. There's something nice about a usually very difficult round just being instantaneously obliterated like this. DDTs, you are no match for me. Uh-oh, I didn't get some of that preemptive damage in. That's not good. This BFB is still survived. How dare it? You will be taken down, though. You will be met with the grinder of my darts. 96, the rest of 96. This is looking a little bit perilous. We have all this pierce to try and get through their thick heads. Okay, do that and then destroy it. So now 97 to pass through. You don't need to use the ability again. In fact, you don't want to use the ability again because we need to use it as soon as round 98 begins and the first CMG spawns on the map, and that bloody yellow balloon almost escaped there. Not good. Okay, so from what the 2TC entry indicates is that we need to have the sub-commander on last, and from there, with a little bit of microing, we then need to put you back on first, back on last, back on first. It's just so that we can micromanage some of these fortified Moabs, so that then we can get to a point where we've held the balloons off for long enough so that we can use the Pre-Emptive Strike ability again and then take out a lot of these fortifieds over here. But it's just so that we have the preemptive means of being able to use the ability a second time throughout the round. Not that confident though. There's so many fortified targets here. I hate these fortified targets, and I hate that sometimes I keep mispronouncing fortified and keep saying mortified for some odd reason. I think it's also how my microphone picks up certain words, which I'm also very annoyed with. This is not looking good. There's so many ceramics. Yeah. I hate this round. Oh, thank goodness. There was that one ceramic at the very front I swear was going to screw me over. Okay, round 100. We're going to annihilate you. And this may actually very well ensure that the bad will be taken out here before we can proc the second ability usage. But that's perfectly fine. The sub-commander will take care of that DDT. Yep, and that's one of them gone, and that also went as well. 98 was the only truly tough round there, with some complete total RNG on 4950, which determines if you succeed in that round or not, or a single balloon just escapes, beyond my capabilities of understanding the logic behind this game. But anyways, that is, folks, the sub-commander and the Pre-Emptive Strike 2TC. It is possible, but it's only possible on this map because of camera detection within this eye. But also as well, it's nice to have the jungle drums and discounts. Discounts only when you are able to do something with the tower with your money. And at this point, we don't have any more usage of the money. Welcome to deflation after you've purchased literally everything that is possible. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been a 2TC, but also a one tower type chimps run using only 2 submarines. Yeah, just 2 submarines. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Please let me know what you thought of the video down in the comment sections below. And we shall see each other in the next video, or whatever it may be. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, people.